Hi guys, the Benidorm Enthusiast here. For today's video I'm going to be talking about the high police presence in Benidorm at the moment. Why are there so many police and what are they doing? I'll also be talking about some alleged crimes that have been reported recently, like hotel break-ins, and what you should do if you experience a crime whilst you're on holiday. If you've visited Benidorm already this summer, or you're an avid follower of all things Benidorm, you more than likely will have seen that there are loads of police in resort at the moment. You'll see them on horseback up and down the beachfront, on quad bikes on the beach itself. There's the usual patrol vehicles, cars, bikes and vans out and about, constantly monitoring the streets, and they're even using drones and choppers for surveillance from the air. If you've been here before at this time of year, you'll probably have seen some of this before as well. Security is always upped at this time. It's the middle of summer, peak season, and Benidorm is absolutely packed with hundreds of thousands of tourists. Unfortunately, busy tourist resorts and cities like Benidorm and the large influx of visitors also attracts criminals looking for opportunities to take advantage of the situation and commit crimes. So, of course, there needs to be more police around. And the numbers of officers out and about is always increased in these summer months. It's absolutely nothing to be alarmed about. They are here to keep people safe and secure, to deter antisocial behaviour and to look after our valued tourists. This year's summer operation, called the Safe Summer Plan, involves 225 more police officers in our province. Some have been moved over from more administrative roles, some have been brought in from other parts of Spain, and they've even brought some in from police forces abroad. This year there are some officers brought in from the national police forces of France and Portugal, amongst others. So don't be surprised if you see agents wearing uniforms you're not familiar with. In previous years, UK police officers have also been used to help promote collaboration between tourists and the police, to aid with translations and things like that. Benidorm is statistically up there at the top as one of the safest tourist destinations in Spain, and they want to keep it that way. The Mayor of Benidorm, Tony Perez, said recently that the purpose of the Safe Summer Plan is to transmit security, tranquility, trust and closeness to those who visit us. It's also been highlighted that Benidorm is committed to looking after tourists in having a service which has been specifically set up to deal with tourist issues. The SATE is the Foreign Tourist Assistance Service, and it aims to offer assistance in the language of the tourist. And this is where you should go if you have any problems and need to report a crime. Now, as I've just mentioned, statistically Benidorm is a very safe tourist destination, up there at the top. But I'm pretty sure those statistics on paper don't actually mirror the real crime numbers. And that's because people simply don't take the time to report a lot of crimes that take place when they're on holiday. Now, I'm not saying Benidorm isn't one of the safest tourist resorts, as I'm pretty sure in most holiday destinations crimes go unreported, just as they do here, and it's all relative really. I would imagine the real crime numbers in every resort are much higher than those on paper. But I cannot emphasise enough how important it is to report any crime you may encounter, no matter how petty it may seem. I know most of you don't want to spend any time on your holiday at the police station, and I hope that most of you won't have the need to. But if you do, it is vital to preventing future crimes. On paper, if the powers that be, the politicians, the council and the mayor himself don't see an issue with crime numbers, then they don't see an issue with crime. If the official numbers go up, it makes them look bad, and that's what will force them to do something about it. It's not the way it should be, but it is the way it is. That's politics for you. I personally think we should have this high police presence on the streets of Benidorm all year round, not just for the summer months, to absolutely guarantee the safety of our tourists throughout the seasons. But if the crime numbers for the rest of the year are not worrying because they're not real, then this will never happen. So please, if you do encounter any sort of crime in Benidorm, get up to the Satay office and get it reported. You'll find the office opposite the Flash Hotel near the start of the strip road Calle Girona, and yes, they do speak English there. So what else has been going on in Benidorm regarding the police and crime? Well, promises were made at the start of the summer season to clamp down on illegal activities in nightlife venues. There have been several raids on the bars around the party central area already as part of the Safe Summer Plan organised by the National Police. They're looking for drugs, they're looking for illegal workers, they're looking for any sort of dodgy business really. They have been promising to clean certain areas up for quite some time. It's an issue which is always raised before the peak season starts. This year, several arrests have been made already, and the investigations and inspections will continue aimed at ensuring citizen safety in these areas, which can get pretty crazy. Some of the bars have created quite a name for themselves over the years, and sadly many people actually avoid these places now because of the things that go on there. There are of course hundreds of bars in the massive resort that is Benidorm, and if it's not your thing, there is plenty more of Benidorm to enjoy. For others, the dodgy goings on and the wild activities are exactly the reason why people visit these places. As I've just said, this sort of clampdown is something that's promised most years, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it pans out over the next few months to see if the police operations really do make any difference. I also need to acknowledge at this point some things you may have seen on social media recently, and that is reports of hotel rooms being broken into. Yes, this has been happening, and not just one or two rooms. Over a period of a few weeks, mid-July to the beginning of August, there were a good few rooms hit at a handful of different hotels in Benidorm. This criminal activity does seem to have died off now. Whether the thieves have moved on to another resort or they're just laying low for the time being, we're yet to know. Absolutely terrible experience for the victims. You would think, of course, that the safe deposit box in your room is the safest place to keep your valuables. But in some instances it was reported that the whole safe was ripped from the wall in the room and stolen. I really feel for anybody that was affected by these thefts. They were of course reported to the police, and intense investigation is ongoing into these crimes. I can't really say much else about it as I don't know any more official details, but I'm sure the police will be doing their best to find and bring the culprits to justice. Let's just hope that happens sooner rather than later. Remember, crimes happen in every town and city all over the world, guys, and the fact that most holiday resorts are a hotspot for crime has always been the way. We hear about it more nowadays because social media is so wide-reaching, but don't let it put you off or feel nervous about your holiday. A massive majority of tourists who visit Benidorm never encounter a single problem or crime. And remember, the police out and about are here to help. Although I have to admit, Spanish police can seem a little intimidating. They take no crap when it comes down to business. I think they're meant to look a little scary. That's part of the deterrent for criminals. If you're doing nothing wrong, you've got nothing to be afraid of. You'll probably be surprised how friendly they are if you do approach them for help. Thanks for watching, guys. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced any crime in Benidorm? And what do you think could be done to help reduce it? Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok at the Benidorm Enthusiast. Stay positive and stay safe.